What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Tuesday, May 18th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, we have a 14 game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Zach Plesac with a 7% pitching advantage over the Los Angeles Angels. Zach Plesac, he's only giving up a .580 OPS versus righties. He's facing 7 righties tonight, and he only gives up a .420 OPS versus lefties, facing 2 lefties tonight. So on top of that, the Angels have only hit 5 of his last 18 pitches. That's a .278 batting average. Now, that's not a very big sample size, but Zach Plesac is projected at 28.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's 8,200 FanDuel salary, and he's 200 less on DraftKings. So you're going to save a little bit of salary for your batters, and he's got an ERA of 3.56. His record is 2-3 on the season, pitching an average of 90 pitches per game, averaging 27 fantasy points per game. But take a look at this. He scored 34, 49, and 41 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So he's been on fire, and he's got some pretty good splits here tonight. So I like Zach Plesac here versus the Los Angeles Angels. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Ji-Man Choi with a 72% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Matt Harvey. Ji-Man Choi is batting 66% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a 1.264 OPS versus righties. In Matt Harvey, he's giving up a .999 OPS versus switch hitters. There's no at-bats versus Harvey yet, and Ji-Man Choi is 3,200 FanDuel salary and 400 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.2 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 19 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 19 and 3 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Ji-Man Choi here versus Matt Harvey. Now, a player that I like at the catcher position is Yuli Guriel with a 48% batting advantage over Sean Manaea. Yuli Guriel is batting 27% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .982 OPS versus lefties. And Sean Manaea is giving up a .744 OPS versus righties. Yuli Guriel is 10 for 35, batting a .286 batting average and a .763 OPS versus Manaea. He's 3,300 FanDuel salary, and he's 1,800 more on DraftKings. So I'd probably play Yuli Guriel on FanDuel, but I'd probably play Ji-Man Choi on DraftKings. So anyways, Yuli Guriel is projected at 8.6 fantasy points here tonight, and he's averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 4, 6, and 15 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Yuli Guriel here versus Sean Manaea.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool.
And this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money.
Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Josh Harrison with an 11% batting advantage over Zach Davies. Josh Harrison is batting a .752 OPS versus righties, and Zach Davies throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 26% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .822 OPS versus righties. I like this pick because Josh Harrison is 6 for 12 with a 1.238 OPS versus Davies, and he's $3,400 FanDuel salary, and he's $100 less on DraftKings. So I like that price on both sites, but it looks like a fantastic DraftKings price, and he's projected at 9.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 3, 15, and 16 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Josh Harrison here versus Zach Davies. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Chris Bryant with a 62% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Patrick Corbin. Chris Bryant is batting 33% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.089 OPS versus lefties. And Patrick Corbin throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 29% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .923 OPS versus righties. And I like this pick because Chris Bryant is 5 for 11, batting a .455 batting average and a 1.045 OPS versus Corbin. He's $3,900 FanDuel salary and $1,900 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10 fantasy points here tonight, he's averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 3, 4, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Chris Bryant here versus Patrick Corbin. Okay, who do we have at the shortstop position? Yes, I know we have Xander Bogaerts, who's actually in a great spot here tonight, but I know you guys are getting tired of me giving this pick, and he did score a 0 yesterday. So although I do think he's in a great spot, I'm gonna give some of these other shortstops some love. I like Trea Turner with a small batting advantage over Zach Davies. Trea Turner is batting a .895 OPS versus righties, and Zach Davies throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 26% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .822 OPS versus righties. And Trea Turner is 2 for 3, batting a .667 batting average and a 1.667 OPS versus Davies. So it's a small sample size, but it's a great start. And Trea Turner is $4,200 FanDuel salary and $1,800 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 22, 16, and 22 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Trea Turner here versus Zach Davies.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Actually, a lot of good shortstops in good spots here tonight. Bo Bichette, Javier Baez, Xander Bogaerts, Marcus Semien, Carlos Correa. All these guys in pretty good spots here tonight. But my top 3 would be Trea Turner, Bo Bichette, and Javier Baez. And let's throw in Xander Bogaerts, my top 4. We can't forget about Xander Bogaerts. Moving on to the outfield position. I like Mookie Betts with a 46% batting advantage over Merrill Kelly. Mookie Betts is batting 35% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .944 OPS versus righties. And Merrill Kelly throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 11% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .779 OPS versus righties. I like this pick because although it's a small sample size, Mookie Betts is 2 for 3, batting a .667 batting average and a 2.667 OPS versus Kelly. One of those 2 hits was for a home run, and the other one was a double. So Mookie Betts is $4,100 FanDuel salary and $2,100 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.5 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 13, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Mookie Betts here versus Merrill Kelly. Okay, now if you want to save some salary at the outfield position, take a look at Robbie Grossman with a 60% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Justin Dunn. Robbie Grossman bats 20% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .817 OPS versus righties. And Justin Dunn throws his worst ball by far to switch hitters, 40% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .122 OPS versus switch hitters. Robbie Grossman is 2 for 3, batting a .667 batting average and a 3.334 OPS versus Dunn. Both of those hits were for home runs. And he's only $3,000 FanDuel salary and $1,000 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.9 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 6, and 21 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Robbie Grossman here versus Justin Dunn.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.